I think that Gary Sanchez is a fascinating baseball player, but what was going through his head as he decided to walk in front of a guy that was in the on-deck circle taking cuts, and then he almost looked back at Celestino like, why'd you do that? What do you mean, Gary? Get out the way. What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. The Cleveland Guardians, yes, my team, they are imploding right in front of my very own eyes. The Mets and the Braves are both battling for first place, and then Ohtani and Judge, they're not battling for first place, but they are battling for the MVP. Now, just a quick reminder, for the final month of the season, I will be making a donation to Stand Up to Cancer every single time we get a brand new subscriber. Today, I'm going to be donating 5 cents for every time we get a new sub. So if we get 1,000 subs, that's $50. Now, yes, we had a walk-off, but I'm going to start with the Cardinals game first and foremost. Miles Mikolas, he had that dog in him yesterday. He shut out the Cubs over 8 brilliant innings. But clearly, this story is the machine who hit a 2-run, 430-foot majestic blast to win it for St. Louis. Albert Pujols is now just 5 home runs away from 700. Yes, he has 695 career home runs, and he has an insane 149 OPS plus on the season, mainly against lefties, I just want to add. All right, let's get the only walk-off victory from yesterday out the way. Carlos Rodon was on his game yesterday. He wasn't sane. This dude was angry at the world, and he took out his frustrations on the Phillies. He went 6 shutout innings. He had 10 strikeouts. He was yelling at my friend Bryson Stott in the process. He really did empty the tank. JT Realmuto, he spoiled everything with a mammoth 3-run shot in the 8th to tie. He has 15 home runs, 17 stolen bases as a catcher. I mean, that's almost a cheat code. Anyways, the Phillies comeback was too good to be true, though, as Wilmer Flores, he walks it off with a 2-run missile. So the Phillies are going to really need the Padres to lose, and lucky for them, the Padres, they had their hands full with the best team in baseball. Will Smith, he kickstarted the offense with a solo shot. Trey Turner made it 5-1 after 4 innings with a 2-run double, and I'm starting to not have words to describe Trace Thompson. He's hitting .293 with 12 doubles, 8 home runs, and a 159 OPS plus in 54 games. So with that loss, nothing changed too much in the NL wildcard standings, as Philadelphia and San Diego, they would both make the playoffs if the season ended today. But the Giants, I guess they're trying to make a comeback. The Diamondbacks are still winning games. So it's craziness in the NL. Now, speaking of the Diamondbacks, Milwaukee is on the outside looking in because they got their lunches stolen by the Diamondbacks, and I'm talking Lunchables, I'm talking Gatorades, I'm talking Scooby Snacks. Their entire lunch was taken. So Dalton Varsho went yard for the 20th time. A lot of people are not talking about this kid, but he has an impressive 3.5 WAR on the season already. Jake McCarthy had a big day, but we have to talk about Zac Gallen. This dude went 7 1/3 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. Why is that so special? He has not allowed a run in over a month. He has now gone 41 1/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run. He has gone 6 straight starts without allowing a run, which ties an MLB record. So shout out to Mr. Zac Gallen. Jake McCarthy ran into one for his 7th of the season. He now has a 128 OPS plus, and he is top 2% in sprint speed. So that outfield between Alec Thomas, Corbin Carroll, and Jake McCarthy, they can fly. And also, random note about this game, one of the funniest baseball clips I've ever seen was this interview clip of the guys in the background kind of just having some fun goofing. I didn't realize that was Zac Gallen being interviewed. This entire time I thought that was a random dude. That was Zac Gallen. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like Aaron Judge is officially the biggest leadoff hitter in the history of baseball. He went nuclear on this pitch for his 53rd home run of the year. That one went 450 feet. He set a new career high in home runs. He has an insane 8.7 F4. He's on pace to have 10 plus. He is having quite literally one of the best seasons of all time. Frankie Montas finally looked like Oakland Montas. He had 7 strikeouts, no walks, over 5 shutout innings. Oswaldo Cabrera's sac fly was clutch because the Rays, they got to Clay Holmes for a run in the 9th, but ultimately Yandy Diaz was kind of hosed. I mean, it was a borderline pitch, but not really, with a 102 sinker at the bottom half of the zone. And that's ball game. Now, real quick, I want to talk about the Angels because, of course, I want to talk about Aaron Judge and Ohtani in a second, though, because Kyle Tucker destroyed that pitch for a 2-run Tater, and Jose Altuve drove in 3 between that RBI double, and then there's a 2-run home run. Altuve is hitting .292 with 33 doubles and 23 home runs, which is absolutely sick for a second baseman. Urquidy was lights out, 7 scoreless with 8 strikeouts, and as soon as he left, Mike Trout left everything. He cut it to a 7-1 deficit. Jordan, he got that run back and then some on a 2-run single. So I wanted to bring up the Angels so I could have an excuse to talk about Aaron Judge and Ohtani back to back. So one guy is a top 5 pitcher in the league while also having 30 plus home runs and an almost 900 OPS, whereas the other guy is hitting 300. He's on pace to have 60 plus home runs and maybe an 11 WAR campaign. I mean, I wouldn't want to be an MVP voter because it's It's too close. I would not want to be the guy that decides who wins and who doesn't. So just give them both the MVP. There's been co-MVPs. If there's any time to repeat that, I think 2022 is the year. Although Aaron Judge, and I mean, if he hits 60, he's going to win it. Now we got to talk about the AL wildcard race because there are like 8 teams fighting for a spot. 4 of them happen to be in the AL East. Biggio and Cruz, they traded home runs, with O'Neill hitting one 430 feet. Now, I know he's hitting 204, which is not good, but he is still so much fun to watch. Teoscar Hernandez, he knew that the Jays needed this W, with the Orioles being much better than we all thought. He drove one up the middle to give Toronto a lead, and they never looked back, as Romano, he notched his 30th save of the year. Now, Shea Langoliers, he strikes out a ton, just like O'Neill Cruz, but he has proven that he is going to be a problem in this league for a long time because he is an RBI machine. Seth Brown turned on a pitch for his 18th of the year, and that was all that Adrian Martinez needed, really, because this guy went out there and shut out the talented Baltimore offense. He had 4 strikeouts over 6 shutout. Seth Brown went yard again, and that's all she wrote for this one. So on to the Red Sox game. Xander cut into the lead on a first inning RBI ground rule double. And well, look who's back. Trevor Story has not been able to duplicate the same numbers as he did with the Rockies, but 16 home runs and a 107 OPS plus in 88 games. That is not too bad, especially for a second baseman. Xander drove in the final run of the day for either team as Boston's bullpen stifled the Texas Rangers for 1 hit over the final 5 innings. Now, Boston has won 5 in a row, so they are desperately trying to claw their way back into it. They're still 7.5 games back in the wild card. The Orioles are 2.5 games back, while the Jays, the Rays, and the Mariners are all in the lead. So I guess that's that. I just want to show one more thing. Tristan Casas, one of my favorite prospects in baseball, he got called up. He might hit 50 home runs in the next few years. Yeah, he got his first base hit yesterday. Marcell Ozuna's 21st home run of the year gave Max Fried an extra cushion to work with. And Max Fried was electric yesterday, 6 strikeouts and 5 shutout innings. Max now has an insane 2.7 ERA and a 2.9 FIP over his last, let's just say, 400 innings. That is ridiculously good. Michael Harris knocked in a few RBIs between the 6th and the 8th inning on 2 different, I think they were singles. And Ronald, he made it a 7 spot after his 2-run single to end it. So the Braves win 7-1. You know who else won 7-1? The Nationals, and they were facing off against the Mets. Keibert Ruiz broke a 1-1 tie in the 3rd on a 2-run base hit, and this Ildemaro Vargas fella will not stop breaking. In 27 games with the Nationals, he's hitting .319. I'm losing my voice. He's hitting .319 with a sick 139 OPS plus. That is 100% not sustainable, but it's still cool nonetheless. Cesar Hernandez gave Eric Fedde his 6th and 7th runs of support, as Eric Fedde went 6 innings, only allowed 1 earned run. So with that loss, the NL East is looking straight up stressful if you're a Mets fan. Either team is going to make the playoffs, whether it's the wild card or winning the division. So the Mets, with that loss, they're only up by 1 game now. Staying on the subject of being stressed, Cleveland fans like myself might be needing therapy soon because we don't know what to make of our team. Are we good? Are we mediocre? The Guardians lost their 5th game in a row after J-Rod smoked his 23rd Tater of the year, and Cal Raleigh got the KO punch in the 11th. Now, I don't know if Chris Flexen has been delegated to the bullpen, but he grabbed his 2nd save, and Cleveland, they lose sole possession because if Minnesota wins, well, of course they did, because I'm very sad. The Twins pick up a W after Correa hit a 2-run shot. He has been really good when healthy. He has 16 home runs and a 127 OPS plus. Bundy has been 20-20. Dylan Bundy over his last, let's just say, month. He has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in a single start since July 31st. Rookie Jose Miranda laced a 2-run double to add insult to injury, and the Twins, again, are now tied for first place in the Central. Now, I guess the question is, who wins the Central? The White Sox have severely underachieved, but they're better without Tony La Russa. Cleveland has overachieved, but they're kind of mediocre if you think about it. The Twins, they brought on Correa, Tyler Mahle, multiple other pieces, yet they haven't found their groove yet, so who wins? It's definitely not going to be either of these 2 teams, the Tigers or the Royals. Harold Castro momentarily had me thinking that the Tigers were going to make this comeback. It stayed 2-2 all the way into the 8th when star rookie Bobby Witt Jr. doubled home the go-ahead run for Kansas City. He has 20 home runs, 26 stolen bases, and 70 RBIs. If the defense improves, I think he's like negative 21 DRS. He is going to be one of the top 30 or top 20 players in baseball over the next few seasons. Colorado and the Reds, they had a little doubleheader yesterday. Colorado made a comeback just like the Royals, but this was more fun to watch. They went off for a bunch of runs late in this one. Blackman, he singled home Taglia, and Michael Taglia grabbed an RBI extra base hit in the 8th. The kid, he looks legit, so the Rockies definitely hit on that pick. CJ Cron hasn't been in a recap in a minute, but there he is, belting his 25th home run of the year. Cincinnati, they definitely got some payback in game number 2, though, as Aristides Aquino's grand slam in the 6th made it a fat 10 spot for the Reds. They deployed 5 different bullpen arms to kind of save their rotation, and it worked. As Cincinnati, they win easy 10-0. Well, everyone, that does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, we're going to switch it up today. Instead of donating a penny, every single new subscriber that we get, 5 cents will be going to Stand Up to Cancer. Let's see if we can get $50 donated today. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the Web Gems.
This is hit deep to right center field. Varsho, oh boy. Dalton Varsho was, and another scoreless inning goes on the board for Zac Gallen.
Only one hit for the Cubs. Oh, a nice play at short by Tommy Edman, and he robs Suzuki of a base hit. He laid out to his left, sharply hit ball by Suzuki up the middle, and Tommy bounced.
Rocketed. Oh, what a play!
That is a base hit in any ballpark, and he takes it away.
Gio Urshela gets a hold of one deep to right center. Pollock at the fence, and he's got it.
Been out of the ballpark, it would have been at least 2 possible.
Oakland. And machine to Henderson. Another terrific play. It's Gunner's Day already.
Well, they signed him as a shortstop. And it's not like...
Lindor going to shoot one out to right center. Back on it is Robles. A leap at the wall. He's got it. Victor Robles up against the right center field fence, robbing Francisco Lindor.
In the air for Bichette into left center field, and a diving effort by Sawinski.
Like that.
Barehanded by Witt Jr. That's an incredible play. My goodness.
That one out towards left center. Ortega sliding, and he makes the catch.